What is going on? What's good, people? What is happening? It is so good to see y'all once again. It is your boy, Mr. Maurice Proffit from B-Side Studios. I am once again very thrilled and excited and very honored as well too. Is most importantly to be able to be a part of the running reviews once again with the Manny and Marcus show. And now I have the opportunity to be able to bring the same energy and the same format to you as well when we're talking about the Hell in a Cell match that took place last night at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view between the SmackDown Live Women's Champion Bianca Belair defending her championship against the challenger Bayley in an actual Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, Bianca Belair, she was insulted and decided to, I guess, have a match with Bayley in Hell in a Cell. It's pretty darn good. That's what I'm getting from the story, the gist of the story. So I would say that would be a star because they hit the story point.
All right, going into the match, we had the story of going on Bianca versus Bayley. Bayley has been mocking and pretty much trying to in the pursuit of her title, and Bianca finally got fed up when Bayley laughed at her. So that was the whole premise of the story, building up the history of her being bullied and whatnot, that she's not going to have anybody laugh at her.
I give the story a star because, I mean, it was, I think overall, this whole storyline and this whole feud was pretty simple. Bayley just wanted her title back. She, it made sense though, because, Bayley being the heel she is with that whole, her new type of gimmick she has, the laughing part of it, to me, it made sense because it was basically trying to just mock Bianca Belair just because, she's a new champion. And she basically trying to say, okay, you're new, whatever, you're great, but you're not me. So that's that. And then it blended in because Bianca apparently had a past of people doubting her, saying that she can't do this because she was like an all-star basically from what we're told all through her life. So the story made sense between them two. I give it a star. I didn't have really any complaints about it. It's probably was one of the best so far. Well, not the best, but it was one of the best. It wasn't like boring or anything. It was pretty entertaining. So yeah, star for that.
Like you said, everything that they touched up on, like her real issues, I felt that. I was like, okay, when she grew up being bullied because she was misunderstood and stronger, and yeah, I get that too. I was bigger than everybody else at times. Sometimes I was smaller than everybody else too, because all I could do was take certain medications for like mental disorders and not even feel like eating. So I felt it when she said that, and I thought it was hilarious when all the screens directed at Bayley, and they somehow made it serious when she got beat up the night before, a couple nights before on SmackDown. So I will give it a star based on the fact that they made it a feud that I didn't think I would care about to a feud that I don't think it's over, like, frankly, or it might be, who knows. But if it ended this way, it's a good ending. It told a good story. And it makes Bianca definitely look like more of a dominant champion because they took each other to hell, honestly. And they had arguably probably one of the best matches of the night.
Let's start off with the first bullet point and talk about the story of this matchup. So in my opinion, I felt that the backstory of this match did not immediately reflect, did not do a good job reflecting on the match itself in terms of like what we're going to receive stipulation wise in Hell in a Cell, because ultimately the backstory of this match centers around Bianca Belair getting laughed at by Bayley constantly, getting a big a nan and a boo boo laugh at her, and that's what was the basically the foundation of the story for this matchup. So you think about that level of backstory does not completely fit with what we're receiving in terms of a match stipulation that merits Hell in a Cell. Something like this might be more merited for maybe a no DQ match something of that nature. But I didn't really think it was like Hell in a Cell worthy. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Bianca, you know, she had something to prove. Like she's a champion, you know, so it was executed, but it made more sense, you know. It wasn't like, and Bayley, Bayley could have just came out with her promos and been like, you're stupid, you're this. She didn't. She had her own twist to it. She added her own way, you know, especially with that whole laughing thing. It was actually pretty good, you know. It was something Bayley would do, and it wasn't like, that's kind of corny. It wasn't. I think it was it's a good way of, like, you know, separating the heel and the face in the thing, you know, in the feud. So
but the build-up overall was pretty standard. You know, I mean, it was fine. It was okay for what it was and whatnot. But we really were able to, you know, kind of like, you know, see that a lot had to do with like bullying. So they used that element. They used the element about being able to overcome obstacles and odds, because Bianca talked about that, you know, when it came to, like, you know, when she was, you know, doing her promos, and making sure that Bayley was not going to be any exception. You know, she's overcome a lot of obstacles in her life, and Bayley was not going to be the one who was going to give that obstacle that she couldn't overcome. So that was kind of like the mountain that she was climbing on going into this match.
In the ring work, well, only thing I had a problem with was the overselling that Bianca Belair did with the arm. That was it, but she cleaned it up later on. I mean, she didn't oversell later on or throughout the match. And then she slipped in the corner of the ring when she was going up to, I guess, I don't know, pull Bayley off of the ropes. And yeah, so I guess I can't give it a half a star. So yeah, it was a star still, just because those two things didn't take away from the ring work.
Moving on to in-ring work. I thought in-ring it was solid. I thought Bayley played the great role of a heel. She dominated the majority of the match. And there was a lot of things that they did to set up the story going in forward. Like, for example, when Bayley was struggling to get the steel steps into the ring, it was setting up to show how much strength Bianca had when she tossed the stairs at her, although it missed. Then you had the payoff of Bayley continuing to tie Bianca's braid into the ropes or to whatever she can tie it to. That paid off at the end, where Bianca tied Bayley to herself and she continued to beat her down. And overall, it's just that, you know, like the weapons that they were grabbing, they were doing a very good job of selling it. There were a couple of mishaps here and there, but overall, I thought inside of the ring, everything was solid. So they get a star from me for the in-ring work.
I think they execute. I think that match was probably match of the night, in my opinion. Those ladies took, you know, they used that ring corner to corner. They used everything under the ring. They when they meant Hell in the Cell, they used it. They did it. They utilized it. They made it good. I think, you know, that the back and forth, you know, was great. Them utilizing the ladders, you know, they didn't play no games. They were like, okay, we're women, but we could still do what men could do, which, you know, since these past couple of years, the ladies have been. So they're just once again proving that they can do the same thing that any other male superstar could do in Hell in a Cell. And I think they executed perfectly yesterday. I think it was a great opening to the show, and I enjoyed it.
Now, in terms of the in-ring work, going back to what I was talking about Bianca Belair, very strong, extreme, you know, true raw, gritty, organic strength that comes from her. And what's great about her is that whenever we see her wrestle, you know, whether it be on SmackDown or on a pay-per-view or whatever, you know, is in between, we never really see the same thing twice from her. You know, we always see something that's very different, very innovative, you know, that comes from her, and it turns around her strength. This match itself was no exception to that rule as well, too, because we really did see her exhibit a lot of moves and a lot of spots that did highlight just how incredibly strong and how incredibly gifted and talented and athletic that she truly is. We saw some really great sequences in the match as well, too, coming from both ladies. I did like the spot where both Bayley and Bianca were sitting. Well, Bayley was sitting on the turnbuckles, facing the ring, and Bianca was right in front of her, facing, like the opposite direction, facing Bayley. Basically, they were face to face, and Bayley went for a swing, she went for that right, but Bianca flipped up, did a backflip. Bayley completely missed it. I kind of like that spot. I really thought that was really cool seeing that. It was pretty quick. It was something that was, like I said, something that was very different, and it was really crisp. The way how she was able to execute that backflip,
The way that they used the cell, people getting power bombed off the cell, that shit like it hurt. Oh damn, probably did. The hair was used as a weapon. You hear the call back to JBL and Eddie Guerrero and everybody before them with the bull route matches and whatnot, using it as a hair, replacing it with her hair. She said, "No, you gonna use this as a weapon, bet." And she literally, if she talked like that and bent herself in her promo and let a few slip off, fuck it. It's the FCC, I know, but they need that shit. Go off, Bianca. Snap. Don't go halfway ratchet, go full way ratchet. Snap. But back to the match itself, I felt like it was a put together match. Like, I feel like they were filling each other out for the longest. They were filling each other out, traditionally, like you're supposed to do. But I think they developed good chemistry in the ring last night too.
I thought it was good because, remember, it was interesting how Bayley used her hair, Bianca's hair, because that's what she's known for. That's another thing that she's known for. So she was trying to use her own, I guess, weapon against her. So she was trying to think out the box and be like, oh, okay, you want to use your hair, you think your hair, blah, blah, blah. And then she started using it, and then Bianca was like, okay, you want to use my hair? I'll use it again. And she showed that, it's things like that are like, okay, Bayley was trying to basically, how can I say? She was trying to say, okay, with the kendo stick, she was, it was probably one of those, like, I failed last time with them. This time I'm ready. Like, I'm ready for you. But obviously, they worked. She taped the, kendo sticks, and she was ready. The hair, it was interesting because she used the hair in ways that you didn't think, like, okay. So I like that too. It made the match entertaining as well. The entertainment part went well for that. Using all that outside stuff, making your own DIY weapons and moves and things like that. She tried. She wanted that title. She tried. She used everything and anything to win that title.
I really did appreciate that that psychology that was implemented into the match, and that's what we saw too as well. We saw that, when it came to how Bayley, thought she had the upper hand when it came to using the braid against Bianca, but then Bianca turned the tables on her and was like, "Nah, bitch, I got you. All right, nah, you ain't gonna use me against me. I'm gonna use me against you, goddammit." So yeah, I mean, that's what we really saw, and I really thought that was a very smart booking. In terms of something that was different that we saw with Bianca's, braid being used or attempted being used against her. So I thought that was really smooth, the way how that all really did go down. And speaking of which, also as well too, then Bianca was able to say, okay, like, you want to tie my braid to the bottom rope, you want to tie my braid to a chair, you want to do this and that and the other to the braid, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my braid and tie you with it, and then we're going to turn this into an impromptu bull rope match then, right? Manny and I, we had a couple laughs last night watching the pay-per-view together, and he was like, but she didn't touch the turnbuckles, man. Had she was dragging Bayley with the damn braid around the ring, hitting all 4 turnbuckles just for GP, that would have made my life. I would have loved to have seen that. just to do this, just to do it because she can be like, I just did it so I could just do it. So why not? You know what I mean? This is where we are. But she tied the braid to Bayley's wrist, pulled it to the outside, went to work on her, and really gave her the business, letting her know that you ain't never, ever gonna do that to me again. And that really did ring loud and clear. And then like, they bring a ladder into the match as well too, and then boom, we get the K.O.D right on the ladder. from Miss Belair hitting it with the 1-2-3 to retain the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Then the finish. Um, I mean, it was a finish, and it worked for the match. I just, everything else in the match I liked better than the finish, but the finish was good still. So I would give that a star as well.
I think that went perfectly well. I think they did it better than probably if the men did it, and that looked painful. And the finish was perfect. I mean, I don't know what it was. Like I said, everything was pretty simple match. For a match to be so good, it was so simple but entertaining. But the finish was pretty good. And they executed well. It's not really much else to dig into. She did it, and she did her finisher on the ladder. And if Bayley would have kicked out of that, then that would have made no sense. I would have been like, really? So it made a lot of sense. And yeah, I give it a star for that too.
Shit. That's how I felt. When I watched, I said, shit. Ouch. Crunch. That was my thoughts. Crunch. I wanted a crunch bar out of that. Why you think my shirt ripped? Real talk. That shit said, I know, nigga. That shit crazy. But no, in all seriousness, that's how you, in the Hell in a Cell, that's how you finish it. From now on, that's how you finish it. If there's no blood, somebody needs to go through something. They can't do that. It needs to be a painful finish. It needs to be one. You see how she was limping out the ring? I was surprised she was able to move.
The finish. I don't love the finish. I think the finish was kind of a cop-out. I'm not the biggest fan of the K.O.D. At the end of the day, I mean, that is Bianca's finishing move. I mean, they teased us with a splash from the top rope, but it didn't really happen. So we got like a bonsai bomb on the thing, and then it went to the K.O.D. I mean, overall, the right person won. I thought Bayley did a great job performing in the match, but as for the finish, I wish they would have did something different. Therefore, I'm not going to really give them a star for the finish.
I felt like the finish was good, though. I think the finish was one of the highlights of the match, to be honest with you, not to just overhype it. Because the K.O.D., I always said the K.O.D. is a decent looking move, but it looked like it can be utilized if it's used the right way and look dangerous. I said that in the conversation with a friend of mine in another group. I didn't think that they was going to, have her tossed on the ladder like that. But, I definitely watched it a few times on the highlights.
Atmosphere and production. I will point out that all the production in the atmosphere goes to, why can't I think of his name? The guy who was with Michael Cole. Why can't I think of his name? Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee, being a fan on commentating, was probably one of the more enjoyable aspects of the match. He was happy when he was like, oh my God, how much hidden items are underneath the ring? How much is going on? He provided that extra bit of seasoning that you're going to probably get at the next pay-per-view when you have real fans in the audience. So I think Pat McAfee, hands down, deserves an award for bringing a lot more atmosphere to the match. I mean, the stakes were high. They started the show off. I think they started Hell in a Cell off on a great pace. I mean, it was the great pace setter, so every other match needs to live up to it. So I think that overall, the atmosphere and the production was spot on. I think the shot of Bayley saying that she doesn't want anymore, she's tired of the Hell in a Cell, it was a nice added touch for the finish. But like I said, the finish for me with the K.O.D. on the ladder just didn't do it for me. But atmosphere and production, you will get a star from me.
Atmosphere, production. Well, yeah, it was Hell in a Cell, and that's how it went. And they were really out to get each other. It was just no holds bars. So yeah, that was great. So I would say a star.
Pandemic, you know what I'm saying? They should be commended for that shit alone. So I feel like that's a freebie. I shouldn't, but I don't do freebies, but for that shit, The only thing I criticize is like the camera work sometimes, and sometimes I wish they would focus on like something going on, and you know what I'm saying, really getting to like the sick stuff instead of just like having camera angle after camera it'll cut after camera cut after camera cut after camera cut. I get they're following the action, but like sometimes a person will walk around the ring and they'll have like 3 different directions of what you're looking at within a span of 10 seconds. Like, for instance, they could be like this. You know, it's been a long time since I've been here. And right now, I am so thankful. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, what? Bro, the camera, we get it. You raw at what you do. You raw. It's called Monday Night Raw. You raw at what you do. No one asked you to do all that. Calm down. Okay, I'm done. That's what they be doing.
I mean, I feel like if there was a crowd, I would give it a star because I think, like I said, that match without the fans was amazing. So imagine if there were fans, that it would be, forget about it. I'm still giving it a star though, because you know what, I think it was great. I think it was a good match. The atmosphere was good. There was no, you know, they had good chemistry. There was no hiccups, no nothing. I feel like it should be a star.
The atmosphere, y'all know I'm pretty vocal about how I'm super over the Thunderdome already. I'm so over it. I'm just so ready to get out of there. You know, like it kind of hit me before the pay-per-view started. Like, oh god, we got another Thunderdome pay-per-view. Shit, when we gonna get fans again? And I know Manny doesn't want to see the fans. I know he likes where they're at, but this was the last WWE pay-per-view that's going to be in the Thunderdome, so that's really great. Now to move on to greener pastures and it comes going back into the road and actually having that electric, kinetic energy from the fans that happens inside the arena. So that's going to be really good to see that take place. It's going to be really take place very, very soon, you know, as they start going on the road.
Overall entertainment, I really enjoyed the match. I like Bianca. I like Bayley. As we all know, I said it on the podcast, I wanted Bayley to win just so I can have Bayley versus Sasha at SummerSlam. I know I should not be tired. I should be tired of this match, but I'm not. But Bianca is the up-and-coming young champ. She should have won. Good match. Both ladies did their best. And, you know, hats off to them. So they get a star for me.
A star. For my previous comments, I gave it a star. It was entertaining. It was, you know, from beginning to end. It had a story in the match. They told a story while competing with each other. It all made sense. The ending made sense. It was great from start to finish. So star for that.
For that overall entertainment, I was highly entertained. You know, B was doing her job, and what's her name? Bayley was doing her job too as a agitator and was it the villain of the story, I guess. It was some hardcore moves, I guess. Poor girls. No slang. Poor women. They did some really good moves on each other and kept it entertained and lively and kept me entertained. So I'll give it a star for that as well. I think that's another star. So overall, I guess that's 5 stars.
Okay. As far as the entertainment spectacle of the match, I was entertained by the match. I was. I'd probably give it a star for entertainment wise. Because like I said, I didn't know. Of course I'm gonna care about it because I'm a fan of both people, regardless. But I didn't know that I was going to invest a little bit of my feelings into the match. Like, oh damn, they're putting themselves through the hell and high water. The only thing that was missing was some tables. You know what I'm saying? That's about it. But I'm not tripping on that. Maybe, hey, save a table match. Maybe have a comeback then. I'm talking too much. Let me not give this too much ideas. You know what I'm saying? If you do, let them hear this so I can get another shirt. Which people are gonna be like, Justyn, you got a rip. Why didn't you just put on a shirt? I have one. I have several. I just gotta work, my nigga. Shit, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to let y'all see. That's what 400 sandwiches look like. Nah, I'm lying. I got off at like 4, so I probably made only about like 250 today. So this is what 250 look like. Ripped shirts that hang on dear life. And I think that's why I hang on to this bitch. It's like a metaphor. Like I'm hanging on by a thread, but I'm in this motherfucker though. I'm strong.
Overall, man, love the match. Enjoyed the hell out of it. Really was good to see. Watched it again this morning as well too, just because. And it's one that definitely is worth a rewatch. Like I said, it was match of the night last night. I was thoroughly entertained by this. It as an individual match, I give it a 10 out of 10. I thought it was spot on, perfect. Both ladies did a great job. Bayley didn't lose anything from this by losing the match. Bianca gains much more stock value into this match as well too, and she's going to be going on to some really great things. So I'm very excited about their careers. I'm very excited to see what's in store for them. This is a highly recommended match. I really did enjoy it, and I hope you guys did as well too. So yeah. So tell us what you think. Tell Manny and Marcus what you guys thought about this match in the comments, in the group, wherever it is, or on Twitter, whatever it is, and everything like that, in terms of like, how you want to respond to this, preferably on YouTube as well. Let them know what you thought about it, what your thoughts, your opinions, what your takeaways were from it. I know that they will be happy to engage with you guys about what really took place from this, and I would as well too. So yeah, man, had a great time watching. We'll watch it again, and we'll see what's up, what's next for Miss Bianca Belair, your SmackDown Women's Champion.
What the hell is that shit still stuck on?
The more you bring it up, I am more focusing on it.
Hey, that's what you do. That's what you do. You gotta put it over. You know what I'm saying? It's the gimmick. You gotta put it over. Just like I put it over when I put it on. I don't want people to. Justyn, you had a rip. I know. Here it is. Wow. Shit. Hashtag ripped tank top. I don't know who's the bigger star, me or this motherfucker. But hey, my rip TT is gonna teach Bianca Belair all the microphone skills she needs to know. Real shit. When we get through with her, she gonna be talking like The Rock in this motherfucker. If you smell what the EST is cooking, pancakes, because your ass can cook for real. Montez out the corner. Yeah, you know that. Starts running away from. That just sounds like a funny ass commercial.
It really does.
WWE starring Justyn in his rib tea.